Welcome on in chat. Just checking, making sure the audio is all good. All right, I apologize about that. Anyway, chat, what is good? Welcome back to the Red Zone Scope. We've got an absolutely amazing, amazing little podcast talking about Cincinnati Bearcats versus the Colorado Buffaloes. We've got an absolute tough matchup on our hands here today. We've we've really got to break down some serious numbers here. I am very interested to hear what you guys are feeling, what you guys are thinking about this matchup. I I'm gonna go ahead and kind of say right off the bat, early prediction coming down to this. It's gonna come down to the quarterbacks. It's really gonna come down to the quarterbacks. If CU can contain Brandon Sorsby, I would not Brendan Sorsby. I would not be surprised if CU walks away with a handily 20-point win. But, you know, Cincy's offense has not really been extremely great. Their defense was really key in providing them their win against Arizona State last week. I also will say both CU and Cincinnati struggled to get going early. I hope that this is one of those times where we've seen CU kind of pick it up over the past couple of games, make adjustments early on to not have to be such a big climb back in the second half here. So, as we're looking at these stats here, obviously, the run game from last week definitely going to have to be the key for CU to get going, especially with the way that Cincinnati lines up on defense. They rush three a lot of the times. They stack the box with linebackers, corners, safeties, nickels, packages. They are going to be covering the long ball a little bit more than Arizona is and was for CU. So keys here are going to be those short 5, 10 yard digs, slants, posts, allowing us to generate some quick passes. And I know Shador previously has not really been doing a lot of check down, dump passes, but we definitely have seen some screens, and I wouldn't be surprised if the vertical game is where we're going to go ahead and look to utilize today's game plan. I think if we can get some amazing blocks from our wide receivers, which they've been really good all year in blocking, keeping that up would be fantastic as we roll on into this. But I wanted to break down, obviously, Cincinnati's run defense has been fantastic this year. And it is quite interesting because, obviously, as we know, CU has struggled to run the ball up until last game where they got over 100 yards rushing combined in the game. But I'm hoping this carries on over. Cincinnati definitely definitely going to be a tough team to run the ball against. They've got who they call the Godfather on the defensive line. He's a beast. I don't know if anybody's watched his tape, but if you haven't, you definitely should. He's unreal. And, similar to Chidozie and Wonkwo, where he just is present and makes his presence known. I am going to be very shocked if he doesn't get in the backfield at least once or twice this evening, getting things rolling. Also, man, I'm sick and tired of 8:15 kickoffs, man. I do not want to stay up super late tonight. And I guess that's gonna have to be the choice. Not happy about it. ESPN, please change that. Tired of it. But let's do a little breakdown here on Corey Kinner. 106 carries for 598 yards, 2 touchdowns, average of 5.6. This is huge because first and foremost, that's unreal for this many carries and this many yards. Obviously, that's a lot of touches. So give it how you may. But really, their key running back here this season going to be somebody that, much like Kansas State's running back, we have to secure the perimeter on. We can't let him get the outside edge a lot on us. And generally, we need to make sure that the containment on the run game is within the the hash marks, making sure that we are keeping them locked down and controlled. It's going to be huge this game. Kinner is somebody that they utilize quite frequently, of course, but is going to be somebody that I think they will try to expand out more towards a passing potential role this game because obviously CU's had a very good run defense so far this year. And I think Cincinnati's going to have to change their game plan a little bit to put him out into maybe a slot, a wide receiver position, just a little bit more, or look to go ahead and utilize him on some screens and get the vertical game going. I think that's really going to be where they use Corey Kinner this game. I will say, obviously, traditionally running him is going to be key for them. If they can't get that going, look to see them move him out on some screen passes. I think that's going to be huge for them in order to get the win. But CU is going to have to really step up. I need to see some consistency from last week because we can't go 1 to 2 games and then fall off. We need to have a consistent run here. So this is where we start to establish the consistency, the basis of what we are going to be as a team on the defensive side of the ball for the remainder of the year. One win is all CU needs, and they are going to be a bowl eligible. And just like many people, obviously on three, JD Piquel is somebody who has said this quite frequently. Just need to be a bowl game team this year, and I don't necessarily like that because obviously, you want a little bit more, you strive for a little bit more. Obviously, at the end of the day, the Pac-12 championship is the goal for every team in this league, and excuse me, Big 12 championship, not Pac-12. I apologize about that, but you need to be consistent in what you're shooting for because then everybody's driven. And I will say, as last year rolled around this time, you could tell that it was just kind of over and the team had given up. You could feel it as a viewer and see it in the way that they carried themselves. Now, obviously, different team, loving the energy, the enthusiasm. You can tell these guys are really coming together for each other, and I'm excited. I'm very excited to go ahead and kind of see how these boys build off of the momentum. I'd love to make it a 2-game win streak. Right now, obviously in the conference, we're sitting tied right around that fifth, sixth spot. CU can really, really step up in this bracket ranking. Obviously, Kansas State could have had a win there, but woulda, shoulda, coulda. Now we just got to focus on making sure that we can keep players healthy to last for the remainder of the year to come out on top and hopefully play in that end game. So let's just briefly talk. Obviously, Travis Hunter is going to be somebody that I need to see have a big game to help make sure that other receivers get available. Now, I didn't see a lot of him last week, and obviously for a good reason. Somebody who was hurt and needed to kind of I'm trying to think about this, reinvigorate back to 100%, get back on his high horse. Hey, I'm hoping that we see the Travis that we have seen for North Dakota State, that we saw for plenty of games early on this year. And I don't doubt we will. I don't doubt that we will, but needing to see some big production out of Travis this weekend tonight. Hoping that that happens, and I definitely think he will come through on that because that is going to lead us into this man, Lejante Wester. He is going to have such a big game with Travis producing as well. And obviously, everybody is going to do well when Travis produces. But LeJohntay Wester, we saw it against Arizona, was finding ways to get open. He's extremely shifty, extremely fast, and Shador was able to hit him on, you know, a plethora of 5 to 10 yard digs, gains, and obviously those are a little bit longer because LeJohntay can extend the play. But with how LeJohntay is positioned here to make this run, I would not be surprised if we see a lot of utilization of LeJohntay's speed and agility to get open in the flat in the 5 to 10 yard range to open us up for a lot more production. I'm going to go ahead and say I need a little bit more consistency from Pat Shermer in the play call because, it seems like when things get a little tough, it's hard to slow things down for us. We need to make sure that we're calm, cool, and collected. Shador's doing a fantastic job of that. I would imagine that we will see a new center in in the starting lineup this week because Hank played okay last week, and hate to say it, definitely had some unforced errors that could have been prevented and probably could have put another 6 or 7 on the board for us here after some crucial mistakes that probably just shouldn't have happened. Snapping the ball before the play, it's just got to be a little bit better about that. Got to be a little bit more consistent with how we are snapping the ball here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cash Cleveland on our side here for the starting lineup. So hey, let's just go ahead and kind of get our predictions in. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of say LeJohntay Wester. Ooh, I'm gonna go ahead and put him at over 70 yards. Over 70 yards. I think he's going to have a big game. I think Will Shepard over 25.5 yard catch and yard to gain on one single pass. Oh man, Travis Hunter, 2 touchdowns and throwing a little curveball in here. Gonna go ahead and put this in there. I'm debating, but I'm gonna go ahead and ride this one out. Isaiah Augustave, 1 rushing touchdown for 100 yards. And final score predictions: CU covers and wins by 12. So, go Buffs, and let's see what we could do here. So appreciate y'all tuning in as always, and don't forget to smash the like button, comment down below how you guys are doing, and thank you for tuning in. Let's go.